Hello, and welcome to the Raymond Corporation's LinkedIn Live series. I'm your host, John Slavic, Senior Manager of Intelligent Warehouse Solutions at the Raymond Corporation. In each episode of our LinkedIn Live series, we feature special guests from the Raymond Corporation to discuss how intralogistic solutions can help you maintain efficient and productive operations. Our series is interactive, so if anything piques your interest, or if you have any questions about the topics we're discussing, please enter them in the comment box below, and we can answer them for you. Also, you can find previous episodes of our series on the Raymond Corporation's YouTube channel. In today's installment, we are discussing intralogistic solutions and how they can help optimize, connect, and automate your operations. So from lift trucks to telematics, location systems, and picking solutions, these are all examples of end-to-endless intralogistic solutions that can help operations maximize existing equipment, labor, and resources to optimize workflows and improve productivity. We have a lot of great things to discuss today, so I want to bring in my first guest and my co-host for today, Jason Fumey, Senior Manager of Professional Services. Jason, welcome.
Hey, John, great to be here. Also want to say a big thank you to all of those who participated in our ProMat DX experience. Probably saw John and I in our faces in several of our solutions videos, and we're excited to carry that momentum and continue that conversation today.
Great. And to guide us through our new intralogistic solution initiatives, I'm excited to welcome our special guest, Raymond President and CEO, Mr. Mike Field. Mike, thanks so much for your time and joining us today.
Hey, it's great to be here. Thanks, John and Jason, for inviting me.
Absolutely. So, Mike, just to begin, what do we mean when we say intralogistics, and why is it important for our material handling organizations today to explore these solutions?
So intralogistics, as we define it, is the art and science of optimizing, integrating, and automating both process flows and overall material flows within a warehouse or distribution center. So, there's a lot of moving parts. All of those things have to be brought together in the right order at the right time. E-commerce is an even bigger challenge now relative to how do things work, where do they go, how do you get them there fastest, how do we make sure that they get all of the right items at the right time. Those warehouses and distribution centers are constantly under pressure to improve, shorter lead times, better delivery, higher quality. So this end-to-end logistics and intralogistics, as you mentioned, is more important than ever. And the people that can help those warehouse and distribution customers do this better really are valued supply partners at this point. This one-stop shop approach, both for e-commerce as a customer, but also as the people who run those warehouse and distribution centers, are really valued. How do you connect the right technology? How do you make sure you have the right material handling equipment? How do you train your operators? How does it all work together? And to learn a little bit more, we're going to have a short video about what intralogistics is and what they can do for you.
Raymond Solutions and Support Centers offer end-to-end intralogistic solutions. But end-to-end only describes the breadth of our services, not the depth, because each end is, in fact, also a beginning. Case in point, material handling equipment. This is one end of our intralogistic solutions. But within, it includes specific beginnings, like dock and door, Raymond lift trucks, energy solutions, and racking. And then there's automation, the other end of our end-to-end. That also includes several beginnings: conveyors, automated storage and retrieval systems, robotics, and automated guided vehicles. So, okay, that covers end-to-end, but because everything is connected, it's actually end-to-end to end. That is because of connected technology, which includes picking solutions, telematics, and location systems. And come to think of it, it's really end-to-end to end to end, thanks to service and support with lean management, learning, maintenance, and finance solutions. And the best part, you can customize all these ends and beginnings to fit your exact needs, to help your business run better and manage smarter. Raymond Solutions and Support Centers, the one partner who can offer you solutions that are truly end-to-endless.
It's great to see that video, and it is part of a new initiative from Raymond, so we're super glad to be joined by Mike to do that. It's the first of several videos and resources that are available, and we'll have more information on that stuff coming up. Mike, customers are at various levels of their operation. Some are looking to advance. So some of that might seem a little bit cumbersome for them, not knowing where to begin. So with so many solutions available, how can customers find the right technologies to meet their needs?
So I think as we mentioned, the whole focus is around optimize, connect, then automate. How do we make sure that we're taking the right steps with the equipment they have, and what equipment do they need to add or change as time goes on? As you can see from the graphic, we have many pieces of material handling equipment to choose from. We have lots of telematics and other technologies, labor management systems, picking solutions, location systems. All of those give you insights into what needs to happen within your warehouse. And then you have tons of support services as well. And then finally, you get to the automation piece. So it's really this journey of optimizing your existing process, connecting all of these pieces of data to help you make better decisions, and then automating those operations. Raymond has a very long history of being in this business, and we have kind of three basic tenets around innovation, quality, and service, and that's our commitment to our customers. We're also a TECO Industries company, so we have deep understanding of TPS and lean management. And actually what we undertook was an approach to go from factory to field. So all those things that we learned in the factory, we applied to our solution and support centers to make sure that they understood deeply how to optimize and improve and continuously Kaizen. So again, optimizing using lean management, understanding how that process works, what you should do with it, where to improve it, connecting. Take the data that you get from all of those different connected solutions around telematics and labor management systems and picking solutions and location systems, and come up with better solutions than you had in the fully manual optimized approach. And then finally, you're ready for the journey of automation. It's my firm belief that you shouldn't automate a project. You need to automate a process and continuously improve that process. So your choices around equipment and approaches are important such that you can improve those over time and make a difference in the long run. So things need to be flexible.
Awesome. And I know that there's a lot of really exciting things that exist today out there, but how do you see intralogistic solutions evolving in the future?
Well, if I knew that, I'd probably be betting on something else. But there's a lot of opportunities that we have. We're seeing a lot of changes. Raymond and TECO have gone through a lot of changes in the past few years with the technologies that we're offering and the approaches that we have. The industry itself has gone through a dramatic shift with e-commerce. The challenges of the pandemic have forced us to grow and improve at rates that we never thought possible before. So all of the business models have kind of been turned on their ear, and we need to find better ways constantly. So again, this flexibility is so important. There are lots of new technologies that are coming out. AI, the next era of those technologies and how they affect human labor, and how human labor gets to be better because of those technologies, not replaced by. There's real game changers that are coming at us in what we're doing. So, one of those areas is that shared autonomy. How do we connect a process, the technology that's in it that may be robots, with operators such that they're doing things at rates and at capabilities and efficiencies they didn't think possible before. The other side is e-learning. How do we train people? The new challenges and opportunities we have with things like virtual reality trainers and simulation tools, augmented reality and the approaches that are available there. And then finally, taking all of those connected approaches that we have and looking at that from an AI standpoint, the artificial intelligence and deep learning that is available, it creates a very rich and robust picture for us in the future. Something we probably will call my warehouse 5.0 at some time soon.
Great. Those are some awesome insights, Mike. I just want to say thank you again for joining us. I know you have a very busy schedule, so thanks for being on the program with us today.
Thank you, guys, and thank you to everyone who's watching. I hope that everything that you see is of value and that you come and talk to us again. So thank you.
Thanks, Mike. And I love that he was talking about the journey there. So you heard some great points from Mike. And we have even more resources to help you explore solutions and determine which technology is the best fit for your operation. Remember, this is a journey. Raymond has launched an interactive page that highlights our full portfolio of intralogistic solutions. You can visit raymondintralogistics.com to check that out.
Awesome. So let's see. Just as a reminder to our audience, this is an interactive program. So if you do have questions, please don't hesitate to throw them in the comment box and we'll be able to answer them as we move forward. So Jason, let's dive into some of the specific intralogistic solutions that Raymond offers. So we know that labor is our number one most expensive piece when it comes to material handling operations. So can you tell me more about the technologies that Raymond provides to minimize the strain on employees and help them do their job more efficiently?
Absolutely. And Mike hit on it a little bit. We're seeing a lot of customers having to do more with less, dealing with a peak within a peak with a pandemic, and labor considerations are a big part of that. We're also seeing that operations are struggling to hire, train, and retain associates in today's environment. On top of that, look at the low-level order picking, adding some complexity there. Not only is labor a large portion of our cost, but picking is an extremely labor-intensive and costly activity. We had some studies that showed up to 55% of warehouse operating costs and 70% of their operating time can be attributed to the picking process. And this is where Raymond looks to have those intralogistic solutions available to help assist with that technology. So our operator assist technologies can be added to the base layer of our lift trucks, and that's where that solution comes into play. One example is the pick-to-pallet LED light system. This is offered exclusively by Raymond, and it uses LED technology to visually reinforce product placement in batch picking applications. And you can see on the graphic here what that light symbol looks like. It basically improves fulfillment times, and most importantly, it enhances operator confidence in training. So the light indicates which customer pallet to place the product on, and that allows the associates to move quickly onto their next pick. We actually did see that we had a customer experience an estimated 20% productivity increase while also achieving a 35% reduction in their pick error. So that's very large gains with that operator assist technology.
That's great, but it seems like that's more of a low-level picking application. So what about other types of picking, such as like using an order picker, for example?
Great question. Order picking is not just low level. We also see that it happens with our order pickers. So a solution that can be added to the base layer of our 5000 series order picker is what we're calling Raymond Zoning and Positioning, or ZAP. So that technology helps ensure reliable and again repeatable forklift operation, and it's all carrying that theme of instilling operator training and confidence. So how does this work? It's an RFID tag that gets embedded in the floor of the warehouse, and that helps transmit locations to your trucks. And that enhances manual controls. So ultimately, we're reducing the human error and helps operators focus on the task at hand. So when it comes to that, it's a matter of avoiding impacts with known obstacles within your warehouse. So if you've got height restrictions or various areas where you want to control movement, the zoning and positioning really plays into that. One specific feature is the zoning, and that's what limits trucks' functions such as lift height and travel speed based on unique conditions. And that might be varying ceiling heights, truck restricted zones, and you're seeing that in the graphic here, allowing us to provide that opportunity to identify where those obstructions are. So you're seeing that on the left part of your screen, and the RFID tags you see an example on the right part of that screen there allow for customized zoning and understanding where you are from a positioning standpoint. And that's the other part of this, positioning, guiding the truck and that operator to the next storage location with the goal being taking the most fast, efficient, and optimal path. And as we mentioned before, it takes the guesswork out a bit and allows those operators to focus on their surroundings. And again, it instills confidence, and they're focused on getting their job done without worrying about their performance as much when it comes to the truck maneuvering.
Awesome. So really quick, just want to grab the question that we had to come in. It says, sounds like intralogistics covers a number of different areas and technologies, which yes, it does. How do you know where your operation should begin?
That's a great question. And Mike hit on it a little bit, where we want to understand current state a little bit. And we're not going to rush to offer you a solution right away. We're going to want to work with you and be a partner in that solution. So we'd recommend reaching out to your Raymond Solutions and Support Centers to understand, what problem we're trying to solve, right? And what opportunity might exist for you to leverage some of these operator assist technologies and these intralogistic solutions. So reaching out to them will help us get a better picture on what we could recommend and position for an opportunity for you to move forward.
Awesome. All right, so we've talked about how labor can be our most expensive asset. So let's talk about labor management. It's important for our operations to effectively manage their workforce, but many of our customers, they don't know where to start. They ask how, or what is the best way that we can do this?
A thing that I say a lot in my work with customers is the ability to provide accountability and visibility. And I say that because productivity starts with that visibility. If you look at traditional WMS systems, you're only getting the time scanned into the system, which could essentially mean that you're missing approximately 60% of the labor hours that you're paying for. So our iWarehouse LMS labor management system helps merge multiple data sets beyond your WMS, including time clock, for 100% visibility, resulting in productivity gains. So we use a multi-metric approach to identify some of those yeah, but scenarios, to also factor in travel, types of picks, weight, to really get and identify missing time. When we can start identifying missing time, we can quickly make a difference to an operation's bottom line by understanding where costs are going. Our iWarehouse LMS can also provide visibility into cost by process and identifying cost to serve metrics as well. So as that customer demand increases, especially in 3PL type scenarios, it's really important to understand and get a handle on that cost. And most importantly, to be able to plan for the future. So we can understand what our staffing needs are based on what we've collected in the data, but also be able to forecast our labor and staffing needs moving forward. And what's nice about our LMS system is that it is fully integrated and functioning in a matter of weeks. So it gets you right on the right track for optimizing your productivity and understanding your payments and your cost to serve.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think some of the most important pieces that you mentioned there was understanding that cost to serve and knowing where those dollars are spent, and then being able to forecast, especially in today's labor market. That's going to be really important.
Huge.
Yeah. So just a reminder to our guests that are watching, feel free to throw in those questions so we can answer them for you. But in the meantime, we're going to move on to identifying operations in their current and future technology needs. Jay, can you speak about that?
And I think a lot of this goes back to understanding what problem we're trying to solve, right? So we focus a lot of our efforts in the conversations that we have, John, with asking customers questions about their operation before we just come in and introduce specific solutions. So what we look to position ourselves at and what we look to make sure our customers are doing is making sure that you're working with somebody who's going to partner with you to understand and allow you to be part of the solution, and adding your voice to identify future state opportunities. So a lot of those foundational efforts will really help us find the right solutions for you and empower you to create a culture of continuous improvement. And that's where the Raymond Lean Management Principle comes in that Mike was talking about before, with techniques that basically allow you to standardize work, track KPIs, and make continuous improvements. So it's one of those you can't improve what you don't measure scenarios. So if we're gathering and analyzing data, we can do assessments to identify and eliminate waste. That could be in time and materials, optimize your operations, and some of those savings can be used to reinvest in these intralogistic solutions. Mike made a great point before about focusing on process, right? So making sure that we're understanding how to move those solutions forward, how to get rid of waste, how to make sure we're getting as efficient as possible, and working with our teams to move that forward. I manage a group of professional services managers who work a lot with our telematics customers, but also some of our other solutions to really help customers make that data accessible, intuitive, and actionable. Data means nothing if we don't know what to do with it. So we're working with you as a team member to really start driving that conversation forward and making sure that you're getting the most out of your application. And beyond our group, we also have application engineers that can really work to identify the use case and next step for any automation solution. You've probably heard Raymond say before that we like to optimize before you automate. So it is that journey that Mike talked about to making sure that we're not unnecessarily automating something just because we can, right? Let's make sure that we're optimizing something that's appropriate, making sure that we're identifying the right solution to automate, and making sure that we've got the best for your bottom line in mind. So you might not need to rush to automation. We want to make sure that you do it right and don't miss out on a opportunity by paying in a huge investment up front for something that's not going to work out in the long run.
Excellent. Really quick, we do have a question from one of our viewers, Ryan. He says, how do you interface with WMS such as Red Prairie? Not all that easy to do. So what's great about our LMS system is that we don't need to write scripts to fully integrate with any of the systems that you currently have today. As long as the systems that you have can push the data to us, we can accept it in whatever form that you want to give it to us. And then we put it into our brains, our LMS system that can translate and write those necessary reports to give you the information that you need. And we can do this in as real a time as your system allows for however often you can push that to us. So that was a great question. All right, so we've talked about people and we've talked about our operators and how we can best assist them. So how can tracking equipment, for example, throughout our warehouse, how can that optimize processes and reduce overall operational costs?
Great question. I think a lot of that goes to, again, part of that visibility conversation we were having before, understanding where and how things are moving through your warehouse. And that's where Raymond's real-time location system comes into play. So we call it RTLS. It's a tracking, locating, and monitoring system that allows you to restrict and control the movements of the lift trucks within user-defined zones. But most importantly, you've got that bird's eye view of where those trucks are going within your warehouse. So if you have passive congestion or high traffic areas, we're able to identify that to help you create optimization of routes, processes, WMS transactions to really start understanding the best flow of material through your warehouse. That high traffic area component really allows us to identify potential misplaced products and reduces, unproductive hours by some idle time that we have or, unnecessary inactivity time that we're seeing through, that RTLS component. The additional component with RTLS is with that movement monitoring, we can control speeds and behavior of truck within given zones as well to make sure that, if there's an expected stop zone or a keep in, keep out zone within your warehouse, that we can make sure that the truck responds accordingly and we're protecting both our equipment and our people.
So that geofencing acts kind of like a rules for engagement in type of your facility. So it's this system is really a truck to zone type of situation.
Absolutely. And that part is mostly on our truck component. When it comes to, costs, we have our iTrack fleet and asset management system. So essentially that allows us to provide service dispatch, acceptance, perform of that service, and we can document all of that within the same portal as we do our other telematics solutions to really understand the cost of operating our equipment, right? So we can track and measure usage to cost to really get that cost per hour analysis for you.
Excellent. All right, so from a lot of the conversations that I've been having, our customers are really interested in avoidance type technologies. So what solutions does Raymond have that'll meet those needs?
Great question. And with our telematics solution in general, we do have visibility into impact frequency, severity, operators that might be having those incidents. But we're taking a little step further here with what we're calling iWarehouse Object Sense. So this is a flexible system that uses LiDAR sensors to basically help reinforce training. It goes back to that operator assist that we were talking about earlier, in making operators aware of their surroundings, and then it helps driving under certain parameters avoid incidents, right? So this solution is going to be available on our order pickers, stand-up counterbalance, and reach trucks with additional models being added. So it allows you to reduce incidents. And how do we do that? A lot of it is through that LiDAR component that looks at dynamic detection zones. And those are going to adjust based on the truck speed and steer angle. And then when an object is detected in that travel path, and key to note here, this is when the trucks are traveling tractor first, the system will provide essentially the operators with an audible and a visual alert, and it will slow that truck down to a controlled stop to eliminate the that impact or incident from occurring.
Excellent. So we've had a lot of talk about semi-automated or operator assist technologies, and automation continues to be a hot topic, especially with so many recent changes in how we have to do business. So many customers are having to reconfigure their operations to meet increased demand, and thus they're looking at automation as a solution. So can you talk a little bit about the flexible automation solution that Raymond featured at ProMat 2021?
Oh, sure, absolutely. So one of the newest ones of our courier automated guided vehicle lines that was unveiled was our 3220 automated tow tractor. So it takes a step forward from our 3020 automated tow tractor, by basically offering a higher towing capacity. So it's 15,000 pounds as opposed to 10,000 pounds, and it's great for pulling heavy loads on flat ground or even up ramps. So the Courier 3020 also has that same feature with automatic hitch and unhitch options, and it does come with a low clearance arch option in case your application requires it to operate under height restricted areas. We also have AGVs like the Courier 3220 that allow you to basically identify repetitive tasks, right? So if we have operators doing a lot of deadheading or doing a lot of travel with no loads that are a continuous, repetitive component, we can drive efficiency there by combining both operator and automated technology solutions to work together in that same environment. And that ideally allows your operators to be freed up for more value-added tasks. So it all ties together, right? So you've got the automation working alongside with your operators. We've got more efficient operators who now via labor management or understanding their processes can drive productivity and really start saving on our overall labor costs.
Excellent. And it looks like we have a great question from the audience. It says, on average, how long does it take an operation to become ready for automated solutions? Great question.
That's a great question, and it's one of those, it depends, right? So we definitely talk about every solution in every scenario being a little bit unique, and it's why we really focus on that conversation with the operation to understand why they're pursuing automation in the first place. Some of the requirements or us being infrastructure free with our technology may allow it to happen more efficiently than with traditional installations of automated vehicles. But again, it's making sure that we're identifying the right process and path for you to make sure that it's an effective solution. So first and foremost, we definitely say reach out to your solutions and support center, and we can make sure that we get some application engineers lined up to identify the use cases and making sure it's going to be a value add for you.
Yeah, especially if the customer's never had any type of automation before, we're really going to want to take them down the optimize, connect, automate pathway so that we can ensure that not only are we ensuring that automation is even right, but that we're automating the right processes that'll make the biggest bang for their buck. So I think that's going to be the most important thing. So yeah, I guess the answer to that is it really depends on the customer and their current state.
Agreed.
Yeah. So we have talked about a ton of great information today. So let's just take a quick moment to recap. So when implementing intralogistic solutions, operations should always consider the optimize, connect, automate pathway. We've got intralogistic solutions such as our operator assist technologies, real-time location tracking systems, and automation that can help maximize your existing labor and resources to keep up with your increased customer demand. It's important to always follow the steps of optimize, connect, and automate to ensure we're doing the right processes for you. And as a trusted partner, Raymond can help you evaluate your operation's unique needs and recommend custom solutions to enhance your productivity and efficiency. And Raymond is your single source for complete intralogistic solutions, but really we're more than that. We're a team that's committed to supporting you and driving your business forward and achieving your goals. So, all right, let's see if there's any more questions. I don't see any new ones.
And John, I think that brings up a great point too, that it really is about finding the partner for this, right? So we don't want to interject things that aren't going to be beneficial to your long-term operation. So this can be a crawl, walk, run approach, but we do have those end-to-end solutions available that can fit your needs regardless of where you are in that journey. So I really like that Mike did call it a journey to automation before, because we can identify inefficiencies and really identify the right path to automation and some of that future intralogistic solutions considerations.
Well, I think your group in particular can be very helpful in that, to understanding how to improve processes. And I think, it is that journey and it's walking them down that pathway, but we need to make sure that we're walking them down the path at the pace that's right for them. We don't want to rush anybody into something they're not ready for, because we want to make sure that everybody's on board and that it's a good rollout and that it's implemented and we have the right change management strategies involved to make it successful.
Yeah, and I definitely live in that mentality of maybe not asking the question of what problem we're trying to solve, but what opportunity are we trying to seize, right? So how can we move forward positively and keep that lean strategy and that continuous improvement mindset in place?
Absolutely. All right. Well, hey, everybody, I just want to thank you all for tuning in today and asking such great questions. A special thank you to Mr. Mike Field and Jason for taking time to join me. And as just a reminder, a recorded version of this episode will be available on the Raymond YouTube channel. There you will find our previous episodes as well, and also be on the lookout for Raymond's next LinkedIn Live broadcast in June. So thanks, everybody. Thanks again, Jason. Everyone have a great day.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.